Look. In recent events, just because Spotify Wrapped came out, is that what it's called? Spotify Wrapped? Yeah. You know, this video popped up. The real reason Spotify sucks. Me personally, I don't use Spotify. I use Apple Music, but mainly I only use Spotify for like, cause I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it 100. They got like better discovery. Like, how do I describe it? How do I explain it? It's like when you're creating a playlist and it like recommends songs, the songs are better. Like it genuinely, it genuinely, what's it called? It genuinely just shows better music. Honestly, like I don't know what they be doing, but like that's why I be making my playlist on Spotify, then translating them over to Apple Music for the most part. And thinking about it, it's low-key a little bit more work, but it's like once I got the preset of the top playlist I want, that's all that matters. You know, I can just listen to little snippets of the song, and then guess what? You know, I add it, obviously. Now that I'm thinking about it, I make it way too hard to actually to actually just like get into. It's because I've stuck with Apple Music for so long, bro. It's like, all right, no, let me stop yapping. This is 18 minutes. At this rate, this is gonna be like a 40-minute video, bro. I'm gonna be reaching Dante numbers. No, not yet.
1964, Beatlemania took the world by storm. A concert ticket set you back $390. In 2023, the Eras Tour by Taylor Swift drew many comparisons to the Beatles, yet her average ticket cost a staggering $1,000.
A band is crazy. Wait. Average ticket. I've never gone to a concert, so hear me out. Is a band not crazy? And I'm assuming that's just like middle of the arena, like not even like front row seats or not even like, because the back, I'm assuming, you know, those are the cheapest, right? You're so far and everything. I'm like, yo. So I'm assuming a band though. A band? No, them Taylor Swift's got it. They got the bag with it too, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They got it. They got it. They got that money.
$80.56. Accounting for inflation, that Beatles ticket would cost $9.90 in today's dollars.
$9.90? Yeah. Wait. For inflation? $10? Yo, we are getting our money squeezed out of us, bro. We are getting our money squeezed out of us. Because tell me why everything is more expensive now. Like, if we were to take the old stuff and adjust for inflation, it would be extremely cheaper. Because, and I feel like even, like, if we're talking, like, clothes or something, the quality would be better, like, what it used to be than what it is now. But the price of clothes be more expensive. Like, tell me why. I worked at a clothing store, you know, and the shirts, they had, like, this, like, the cheaper shirts. It was, like, 2 for $30 when I first started or something like that. Tell me why recently I checked, it's like, and the shirts were like $16 average, like 16, 17, 19, 18, somewhere around there. And I look now, the shirts are like $25, 24. They're 24 or something like that. It was like 2 for 35, and it's like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy. You would have got that shirt like 2 years ago, like for $10 less. Like, and it's like the same shirts too. I know for a fact it is, because I remember them. Because it's like I worked there for a while. I'm still working there part-time though. Regardless, I'm already sidetracked.
Still, bro. Over a 10,000% increase in the cost of a concert ticket.
Wow.
So what gives? There's lots to blame. Some say it's the artist's greed, others say it's Ticketmaster's fault for charging absurd fees. Yet in all of this, somehow everyone seems to ignore the biggest culprit, Spotify. If you use the app, you might want to think twice before you renew your
isn't it because that, like, music streaming, it doesn't actually get as much, what's the right word? Sales? Like, it's like 15,000 song plays for like one cell or something like that. So the inflation is like crazy. So when someone be reaching like 20,000 units or whatever, it's like 20,000 times 15 or something. The people that listen to it within that first week or whatever it is, like that. And I can see why they charge a lot then.
Description, as you might,
Because I feel like they also don't be paying that much. Because it's by like a large amount. They probably do get paid a lot. Never mind, I'm tripping.
be directly contributing to the death of music. Streaming
Macy's?
services have completely changed the way we listen to music. It's easier than ever to discover new songs and hear a wide variety of genres.
That's what I'm saying. Look, easy to find new songs, especially if I'm trying to create a playlist for what I need. Perfect. Spotify's good for that. I don't know. And then I just use Apple Music just because that's what I want to. It's like Xbox and PlayStation. You know, you stick with one, or you choose one and then you kind of stick with it. You know? And then like the Switch was like a third option because I got a Switch. I got an Xbox though. Am I just a bad overall picker? Because I swear Xbox fell off. Apple Music hasn't been it. Like from a public perspective, right? I'm 0 for 2. I'm 0 for 2, bro. Let's see what I don't know, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
While paying a fraction of what we used to. That's great, but it's becoming clear that this business model doesn't work, and we are on the verge of the next musical revolution with the listeners being the losers. To understand just how badly music has declined, you need to hop in a time machine and remember what music was really like before the internet took over. Pre-digital age, generally speaking, music was more personal. Your limited collection of cassettes.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Thinking about it, because it's like, I remember hearing from videos when a person, a band or something along the lines, it's like they sold an album or something. They'd always have stuff alongside with it, if I remember correctly, like pictures from the concert or something like that, videotape from the recording sessions. And it gets me thinking, it's like, what happened to all that? Like, I know people be having like on like a website or something, they'll be having like the vinyl with the t-shirt and selling merch like that, but it's like I guess the marketing in itself has changed because the way the media is digested is like different. But it's like, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy to see all that change. And I don't know. I was just about to yap.
Cassettes or CDs helped express who you were or who you were trying to be.
Right.
Your relationship with an artist grew deeper, not only with each album you bought, but over time by replaying them.
You like Huey Lewis on the news?
Sure, it's easy to be overly nostalgic, but some critics argue that Spotify, despite being marketed as a better way to discover music, has ironically resulted in a significantly worse experience. Like any other all-you-can-eat digital buffets, Spotify offers virtually unlimited choice and no commitment, which has led to music that often feels disposable. At no additional cost to find a new song, in an algorithm that constantly pushes you to keep listening to new music, it's weakening the relationship you have with a single artist.
He kind of spitting though, I'm not gonna lie. 'Cause you really have to think about it. It's like back then you were really tied to him, because it's like, you know, you went out of your way to go and buy the album, go and buy the cassette tape, go and buy the whatever, go and buy the merch or something like that. Now it's just like, okay, you know, I like this song, let me move on, you know? Or like, I like this song, let me keep listening. And you know what would be the worst feeling, bro? You know what would be the worst feeling? When you find a song from an artist you don't know of, and then you find out that none of their songs hit the same. Like that'd be hurting my soul. That'd be hurting my soul so bad, bro. You'll find one amazing song by them, and then you're like, all right, let me see what else they got, and it's like nothing else hits. Nothing else hits. That'd be heartbreaking, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Chad be turning me on. Wait, Chad be. All right. Let me just start it.
How often do you listen to albums start to finish anymore? Instead,
No, I'm not gonna lie. That's a good point. I feel like now, it's like you'll see someone react to or listen to it, and you'll react with someone else, and then you'll decide what songs you like after. Cause that's what I did. Some of the times, like on Tyler's new album, Chromacopia. Like that's exactly what I did. I saw Black Boy Max reacted to it, and I'm like, yo, I like certain songs, and then I listened to it on my own. Some along like within like a very close time frame, and then but I don't know. I feel like it might not be the same experience as it was back then, cause I'm just imagining, right? You wake up, go to the store, buy the cassette tape, go home, listen to it, be like, okay, this is fire, or I missed, I wasted money. You feel me? Now it's like, okay, I don't like it. I'm just not gonna listen to it. Like, you lose nothing. You literally lose nothing, bro. But yeah.
Focus has shifted to vibes, primarily through playlists, which often feels like the equivalent of taking similar scenes from movies and then combining them to make a new movie. The result? A movie that has a repetitive theme, yet no point. Spotify continues to encourage this kind of musical ADHD, even so far as having their artists partake in their TikTok-esque short-form video feeds. This is only the tip of the iceberg for Spotify's problems, but first, let's talk about the artist. Deep down, we all know Spotify's price is a little too good to be true.
Right.
While digital piracy certainly caused pressure on the industry to make music cheaper and more readily available, services like iTunes with their dollar per song model, in hindsight, seem to be a pretty fair solution for all parties. When compared, Spotify's emergence into the music market relied on with their dollar per song model, in hindsight, seemed
$1 per song sounds crazy nowadays. Cause I personally have like 1,500. Like, I feel like that's probably average if you're like a casual, like a music listener. Like, that could even be on the low end if I'm being honest. I got like 1,500 like downloaded. Like, if we're just talking in the library, like chilling there, it's probably like, bro, I don't even know. But like, imagine 1,500, a band and a half for some music. That's wild. That's wild. Is that not crazy nowadays? Like back then, you'd be like, I paid $1 for this song, and it's like, you'd have to be more careful, or you'd be like, I know what I like this song, let me buy it. Now it's like, gang, we just be downloading stuff for the fun of it, just for why not? And we have way too much music. Like, there'd be so much music out, and it's like, yo, it's all good too. It can all be good too. That's the thing. If we had that one model, I don't know how that work out.
be a pretty fair solution for all parties.
Right.
When compared, Spotify's emergence into the music market relied on removing users' ownership and centered on a business model of not fairly paying music artists. If calculated, artists get somewhere around 0.004 cents per stream.
Crazy.
Is that good?
On paper, you might not think that's all that bad. A-list artists have billions of streams, and
But imagine like the ones that don't, get big. That's nothing, bro. Like, they're trying to make a living off of music. That's nothing, bro. And like, I'm assuming that's also, like, that's like many avenues. YouTube, streaming, what else? I don't know what else, but like, that's crazy. It's like the top ones be having the most, and then the other people, they just kind of have to keep it pushing.
often see articles about them earning tens of millions from Spotify. In reality, it's not that simple. Music rights are very complex, with many parties taking large chunks of that income, so ultimately, for many artists, the actual take-home pay is nowhere near that figure.
In the streaming world, I can show you right now. They just sent me some from Spotify where I got 1 billion streams, right? My publisher hit me. I said, break that down, how much money is that? That shit wasn't even $45,000.
That's crazy.
That's wild. 45,000. Is that overall or for him personally? Because overall, that's nothing. But for him personally, that's also kind of nothing. Like, that's wild. 45,000? And how long of a time period? That's what I also want to know. How long of a time period are we talking about? Because if it's like in a year, yeah, that's crazy, gang. If it's in half a year, that's it really depends on the time frame, but that's what I wonder.
In response to this,
But a check, is that like every month then? 45 bands? Somewhere around there? Because he said a check. I'm assuming they get paid monthly. It could be quarterly too. I don't know, gang. Too much thinking. I'm gonna be honest.
abysmal pay, a growing number of mainstream artists like Justin Bieber and Bob Dylan have sold off their share of their song catalogs to investment firms. It's hard to blame them, especially as you get older, because it takes years for that streaming income to amount to anything worthwhile. These investment firms offer an easy alternative by giving decades worth of that expected income up front, yet it comes with some serious unintended consequences. Take it from Taylor Swift. Despite now being a billionaire and also having the most expensive concert,
She has $1 billion? She's a billionaire? Since when? Yo, I'm not gonna lie. They do not play about their money. Them Taylor Swift fans got it. They got it. I'm not gonna lie. She got $1 billion? She Jay-Z money? Oh my, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm somewhat surprised, but at the same time, I'm like, what? Like, I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised. You feel me? Because I feel like no huge musician I know of like reaches that number. Like, it's very few and far in between. That's crazy.
tickets. She's also been one of the most outspoken against streaming services from the start. She even took her music off of Spotify in 2014.
Yeah,
It's a shame
I'm a
Taylor's
Swiftie
protest
now.
ended in 2017, as just a few years later, she personally experienced what can happen when ownership of music rights falls into the wrong hands.
Okay.
In her case, the label that owned the rights to her master recordings were purchased by mega manager Scooter Braun, who had a history of bullying her.
What?
Because Scooter only owned the master recording, Taylor was able to fight back by re-recording her old music, thus creating a new copyright.
That's
This
smart.
became known as Taylor's version. While the re-recording spared Taylor, typically artists sell their share of their publishing rights, in which case re-recording wouldn't solve anything.
That's
You were the
crazy.
guy who said to Michael Jackson, you should get into publishing.
Isn't that great?
Yeah,
Don't you
and-
love the irony?
And he bought all your songs.
Yeah.
And you've said to him, listen, I'll give you fair market value. Let me buy my songs. I want to own them. And he won't do it.
For those artists that have sold their rights, you can expect in the future that they will have zero control over how their music is played and distributed.
That's crazy.
Their music would be commercialized in ways they would never approve of, like having Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit being the new Fortnite theme song.
Is that how it works? That's how it works? Oh no. I didn't know that's how it worked. So it's because that company owns the music. They're like, hey, let me make some quick bread off of Fortnite real quick. You know, they're somewhat popular right now. They're big. I can make a bag. That's crazy. So you're telling me Mac Miller's on there because some label owns the song and... Oh, no. Bruh. That's crazy, though. I did not realize that.
Or Beyonce's Single Ladies being used in a Viagra commercial.
Huh?
I have.
Genital herpes.
Hey, yo? Hey, yo?
Despite Taylor recognizing some of the issues Spotify was bringing to the music industry, she was able to protest given her extreme
I'm 6 minutes in, gang. I feel like I've talked for like 20 minutes. That's wild.
popularity. Small artists don't have that luxury. One of the most common ways users justify Spotify's bad business is that although the artist doesn't make much on the platform, the exposure they get is worth it. They can point to tons of examples.
It's like going on a KC3 stream. It's like, I don't know if he pays them or not. I'd assume not, just because they want that recognition, the clout. That's what I'm assuming. That's what they go for there. And then it's like, you know, they're probably going to push something or try and push their own, whatever, their own platform. Like, I'm assuming it's that kind of deal. You feel me? Because it's like, yo, if you're trying to just like start a YouTube, put music out there, I feel like that's kind of hard. I guess SoundCloud. Does that work different? I mean, he's talking about Spotify, so it's different, right?
Of small artists like Lil Nas X going viral, partially because their music was on a platform that required few barriers to listen to. That's true, but exposure is really only great when you're starting off. It doesn't pay the bills. Pre-internet, you could be a one-hit wonder like the Knack and make tens of millions before you even got on stage. The reason concerts used to be so much cheaper is because artists toured to promote their album sales, as that's where all the money was. Today, it's the complete opposite.
Okay.
Musicians of all sizes now make their entire living on the road, causing the extreme concert ticket costs.
Oh, okay.
It's also extremely exhausting. And for non-A-listers, often, it's not even all that profitable.
That's crazy. Face
If only Spotify stopped here at killing the artist, but sadly, it's much worse than that. Spotify is ruining the creativity of music.
Oh, I can see why he's gonna say that, because it's like, boom, they see one thing that works out, and then everyone's just gonna try and jump on the trend. Like anything on the internet, you know, one thing blows up, it's like everyone tries following. You know, one TikTok dance blows up, everyone's doing it right after. You feel me? I feel like that's what he's gonna say.
You've probably heard complaints that many new trending songs all kind of sound the same.
Yeah.
In the era of Spotify, this is not only true, but actually intentional. Artists of all genres are now crafting their music to fit a specific formula dictated by Spotify's algorithms. Now, when structuring a new song, virtually all artists must ensure that two crucial considerations are met. To count as a stream, a song has to be played for at least 30 seconds, and if it's played in its entirety, the algorithm will be more likely to recommend it. That alone has changed music forever.
And then, yeah, I see how it's going. Because it's like, okay, you know, one song gets more follow-throughs or listen-throughs for that, and then people want to take what's working and apply it to their own. It's the same thing I already said earlier. But I didn't realize it affected it that much, because it's like, yo, it's one thing to just, I don't know, because even so, it's like, you be seeing people who don't do that blow up too, so it's like, it's both of them, I guess. I don't know.
Where their song is not skipped, choruses are appearing earlier and more frequently, while the song duration is getting shorter and is less likely to take creative risk. Artists will also fill their albums with a lot more songs, all in the hopes that that will equate to securing more spots on playlists.
And then they'll also drop deluxe albums on top of that. It's like, yo, I don't know how I feel about deluxe albums. Like, they're cool because it's like a few extra songs, but it's like, couldn't you have just like released it on the side or something? But at the same time, it's like, if it fits within if it's telling like a story and idea or something, like, you know how some albums be doing that? Like, they'll be telling like a feeling, emotion, like it's consistent throughout the whole thing, or it's like a progression, then by all means, it's cool. It's cool. You feel me? Like, it's like a story kind of thing.
Ironically, while playlists are a main attraction to Spotify, it's also their biggest flaw.
What?
One of the biggest issues is that major music labels are essentially bribing the algorithm by utilizing Spotify's own promotion tools. The core of Spotify's recommendation algorithm is based on collaborative filtering, which is really just a fancy term for pattern recognition.
Right.
Once paid promotions are added to the mix, these patterns start to lose any kind of fairness. Consider two hypothetical groups of Spotify listeners, Group A and Group B, both identified as rap music enthusiasts by Spotify's data. Using previous feedback from similar users, Spotify filters their millions of tracks down to a list of popular rap songs they might suggest to Group A. From this list, users in Group A receive unique recommendations that are tailored to their own tastes. However, they are all presented with the same promoted song, God's Plan, by the artist Drake. Despite users in Group A having somewhat varied preferences, the majority of Group A listens to and enjoys the promoted Drake song. But watch what happens with Group B, despite not being exposed to any paid promotions. Because Drake's song was previously promoted, Spotify collected an overwhelming amount of data on that one.
Having Kendrick and Drake back to back like that is crazy. After everything that's happened, having Drake, Kendrick, Drake, like, that's crazy.
Song, mostly with positive feedback from the users in Group A. This will now cause Spotify to likely place God's Plan and other Drake songs on its filtered list of potential tracks they would recommend to other rap enthusiasts. Users in Group B still get their own unique recommendations, but they're being recommended songs from a list that has been artificially biased towards Drake and other similar artists.
Okay.
Seriously, this promotion feedback loop happens all the time. Perhaps most obvious when Drake's Scorpion album was released in 2018. His face was inescapable, and the songs were in playlists that didn't even make sense, like Best of British.
What? You're Canadian, you're Jewish, and you're half, it's just like mind-blowing things.
Although Spotify's face was inescapable, and the songs were in playlists that didn't even make sense, like Best of British.
What? You're Canadian, you're Jewish, and you're half, it's just like mind-blowing things.
Although Spotify's terms of service does not allow direct payment for music to be placed on playlists, their promotional tools are designed to do that anyways.
That's crazy.
Small artists with no budget for promotion and significantly less streams simply do not have as much data for Spotify to find patterns with, resulting in them being drowned out by the ones that do.
And because they're also kind of promoting and putting their own things in different, yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, that's like streaming though currently, right? I mean, I feel like it's easier now because TikTok, you just go on TikTok. But I'm gonna say like at the beginning when there was no sort of short form content, it's like, who was already big by whatever chance or circumstances they had, it's like, they're everywhere. And then like the rest of them is like they're fighting for scraps basically. You feel me? Because what I'm also saying is like when you hop into a new person stream, you're like, all right, let me check them out. And then you get hit with ads. You're like, all right, nah, gang. Let me just go to someone I know I'm with joy. You feel me?
This is a big reason why artists from the big three music labels continue to dominate popular playlists like New Music Friday, Rap Caviar, and Pop Rising. It's not like these big artists are producing better music than the little guys. It's all a game of data points, and it's been abused through artificial popularity bias.
No, I worked too hard. I worked way too friggin' hard for this.
A lot of people work really, really hard for their dreams, but it's not meant for everybody.
That's why you use auto-tune and I don't.
Actually,
it really seems like Spotify wants the little guy to fail. Beyond offering promotion tools that objectively skews the fairness of recommendations, they also have Discovery Mode, a pay-for-play model where artists can boost their chances of being recommended only if they agree to give up an additional 30% of their Spotify income.
That's crazy. For how long?
This puts small artists in a no-win situation.
Yeah.
They can't afford to lose any more of their already terrible streaming revenue that they depend on, yet they also can't afford to opt out of the Discovery Mode program as they risk being overshadowed by those who do participate. As a final FU to the small artists, they even implemented a recent rule change that songs now must achieve 1,000 plays within 12 months before any royalties are paid.
That's crazy.
Diverting an estimated 40 million from small artists to big ones.
That's crazy.
Ouch.
While playlists being dominated by big artists is pretty annoying and unfair, you might have noticed another phenomenon occurring. Playlists are also becoming increasingly driven by moods and activities rather than focusing on a particular artist. Whether it's high BPM tunes for workouts or mellow tracks for cooking, Spotify seems to have conveniently organized songs for every scenario. That's pretty great, right?
Right.
Well, it could have been until Spotify executives realized there were 400,000 user-generated barbecue playlists.
That's crazy.
So what do? They picked up the phone and started calling barbecue companies.
Look, they want you to come to a barbecue. Just hear them out.
Journalist Liz Pelly authored Big Moon Machine, an article about how Spotify pursues emotional surveillance and manipulation for profit. Liz argues that Spotify's push to these playlists is deceptive, as the real reason to define audiences by their moods was part of a strategic push to grow Spotify's advertising business in the years leading up to its IPO. Spotify is really just an ad company in disguise. In fact, Spotify's founders never even worked in the music industry before founding the company in 2006.
That's wild.
They both came from advertising technology.
That's probably why it works, because of advertisements. And basically, it's an easy way to advertise music and get people to listen to music. And then on top of that, they can also put ads in between if you're not paying a monthly subscription. And then they get money from the month. That's a crazy... that's crazy when you really put it like 2 and 2 together. That's wild. What?
Since acquiring the music data firm Econest in 2014, Spotify has utilized its data tools to analyze the context in which listening was occurring. By 2016, they began sharing their mood-based data with leading marketing firms as they prove just how easy it is to influence listeners with emotionally targeted ads. In Spotify Ad Studio, brands can target any mood or activity from commute to girls' night out. Their extensive research on users' habits are proudly marketed by the motto, "You are what you stream." Their case studies suggest that companies can masterfully exploit Spotify's data to craft extremely targeted ads. For example, Coca-Cola, promoting their Open Happiness campaign, could utilize Spotify's data to identify users in a bad mood and gradually expose them to more uplifting music. When these users' moods improved, Coke ads would be presented, linking positive feelings with their products. Sounds crazy, but this strategy...
Yo, you know how complicated that is? Like, the system in which that has to take place is so crazy, where it has to pick up on every little action or thing you do, or what you listen to. Like, it's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. Like, they be taking your information, bro. And we've been on, they do that, like companies will take your information and sell it. But that's crazy hearing it like this too.
It is so effective that Coca-Cola has since launched their own music label, creating original songs trained on your data, all just to get you buying more soda.
Bro.
Maybe the real question we should be asking ourselves is, what has Spotify actually accomplished? Yes, it did help make music cheaper and probably suggested some music you ended up really enjoying, but did we ever consider the true cost? Their advertising strategy caused many to now treat music as a consumable mood enhancer. Artists were robbed of their income, which caused live performances to cost 10,000 times more, all while a few major labels took even more control over the industry.
Right.
Somehow, despite all this, Spotify has never turned an annual profit.
That's crazy.
Something is bound to change. Currently, the platform's main cost is compensating artists for billions of streams, and its profitability will always be challenged by Apple Music, which has far more resources at their disposal.
Yep.
Spotify can only operate for so long.
Apple Music on top. They probably do the same exact thing, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They probably do the same exact thing, so it's like tough.
Without breaking a profit, yet Apple Music doesn't ever have to, as its true purpose is to encourage user loyalty to the greater Apple ecosystem.
I didn't really think of that. Loyalty. Above all else, loyalty to the company. That's something else. You see, that's 100 IQ. Wait, 1,000 IQ level play. That's crazy, because they got me on Apple Music, and it's like I can't just switch to Spotify now. I already got everything set on Apple Music. That's crazy.
Spotify does have one last trick up its sleeve, though. They can embrace a whole new era of music. The rise of AI in music production. Spotify does have one last trick up its sleeve, though. They can embrace a whole new era of music. The rise of AI in music production is starting to suggest a future where paying artists might become obsolete. With AI-generated tracks already being mistaken for the real thing, and artists selling the rights to investment firms, it's not far-fetched to think that some will sell their vocal likeness as well. This is the next music revolution, and it's happening way sooner than you think. In time, as artificial intelligence begins to produce music that is indiscernible from their human counterparts, Spotify's financial concerns will quickly disappear. No longer will they need to pay artists at all. Their users have conveniently been conditioned to treat music as background noise, to pay little attention to a single artist, and convinced that music discovery is a burden that requires immense technological intervention.
I mean, of all the things I should be able to do myself. Right? How pathetic is that?
Perhaps now is the time to take back control from our algorithmic overlords. For some, that may be by joining the vinyl revival or returning to way of piracy. If you
Bro,
choose to
piracy
remain
is
on
crazy.
Spotify,
Ain't that illegal?
remember that you don't own your music. So at the very
That's
least,
true.
you should be fighting to own control of what you listen to.
That's true. You actually don't own your music. They can just block your account, ban your account. They can just shut down the thing and boom, it's gone. It's gone. It's literally gone. That's the same thing with Xbox Game Pass. It's convenient, yes, but you don't technically own it. Or like digital games. You feel me? Instead of getting physical copies. It's the same thing on a different place and different, environment.
Now, and especially in the future, artists both big and small will genuinely need your support. Remember, an author's work is meant to be read cover to cover,
Right.
yet collectively, with our music today, we often fall victim to the urge to skip between chapters. Step outside your comfort zone. Commit to letting an artist tell their entire story.
Okay, good video by Raised. Amazing video. And, genuinely something to think about. If you're like an artist or something like that. Or just curious, if anything. Other than that, see ya.